It's been a pretty long time since I talked about FNAF Plus. This is mostly because I felt like there was nothing that I could cover or say that would be worth saying. Very little has happened since I made my videos analyzing the teasers, and whenever something did happen, it was obviously covered by many other people. But this new update that just came out is relatively significant, and I do feel like I have something to say about it, and I could use this app as an opportunity to speak about other things relating to FNAF Plus. But before I talk about the big update, I will quickly talk about the one I never spoke about, and that is the UI styles. If you are familiar with Fisnum's previous work, you knew that FNAF Plus was going to have quite a bit of customization. Fisnum's original FNAF remake was FNAF Open Source, a remake of FNAF 2. The main thing that made the game so cool was just how much you were able to customize the gameplay. And it appears that FNAF Plus will have quite a bit to mess around with. Let's take a look at these different UI options. Here's a default versus classic UI to show the difference between the original FNAF 1 and FNAF Plus. It's definitely cool to see a new design along with the original. Here is the thin UI and also the night UI. And the last two are the future UI and the old school UI. Phil has also shown that there's going to be options to change the colors of the UI, like change the colors of the bars that measure the power, that kind of stuff. So that's all pretty cool. It's not necessarily the most significant adjustment to the original FNAF formula, but it's a pretty decent way of showing that FNAF Plus is really going to be building on the original idea. But now let's talk about what you really want me to talk about. A development showcase was posted as a Twitter thread on the official FNAF Plus account. This consisted of a 1 minute and 13-second long video and 8 screenshots. The beginning of the video shows us what the office will look like, and everything looks great. This looks like an evolved version of FNAF 1, which is, you know, pretty important given what the game is. I like the placement of the windows and their overall design. I never considered moving the windows to the other side of the door, but I honestly think this looks better and it feels like it makes more sense. Focusing on this part of the video, another interesting thing that I noticed was the way the mouse cursor moved down when the right door was being closed. The mouse cursor moved along with the in-game lever. I could be misunderstanding, but that makes me think we're going to have to pull the lever down as opposed to just clicking it. That's what it looks like, at least. After showcasing the office, the camera gets flipped up. We see the party room, the restrooms, the entrance, the electrical room, and the West Hall. We also see that you will be able to move the camera manually. You can use the slider at the top to change the direction the camera is facing. I can't really predict how significant this detail will be during actual gameplay, but it's a good idea that does make sense. Now we'll move on to the screenshots. The first one is of the office. Now, I was confused at first why this was posted. There was already a video showcasing the office. However, there is a difference on the wall in front of you. In the video, there's just a couple drawings, but in the image, the puppet's mask is there. We already knew the puppet would have some sort of appearance, but this does make me wonder what that appearance will be. Not that I haven't already been wondering that, but I'm wondering if the reason the office changes is because it actually does change in-game over the course of the nights, or if Phil just used different assets on different teasers. Hard to say. But overall, I'm interested in seeing how the FNAF 2 characters will be utilized in the FNAF 1 location. Obviously, in the timeline, they already existed, but they were never present in that game, so I am interested in seeing that. There's also 2 more screenshots of the office, facing the left and right doors, but here we can see the buttons for the lights. Why aren't they there in the video? I have no idea. I was confused by that when I saw the video. I was like, hey, how do you turn the lights on? But they're there in the pictures. Maybe you don't use them the first night and then they get introduced? That'd be pretty dumb, but I don't know. Maybe Fisnum just wanted to leave them out for the showcase. The next screenshot is of the party room. Once again, we've already seen this, but in this screenshot, the UI is different. This one is meant to look like the original UI of FNAF 1. We saw it earlier, but now we get to see it actually on a camera. Next up is a screenshot of the restrooms. Yet again, we've seen this, but this has another different UI. I actually quite like this one, the old school one, because it looks like it's from an older computer, and since the game takes place in, like, the 90s, that's actually pretty fitting. Next up is some sort of supply closet. You may recognize this from one of the image teasers. Once again, watch my video on that if you want some more details. And this screenshot does feature yet another UI. Second to last is a screenshot of the West Hall, featuring yet another different UI. And lastly, we have some sort of electrical room, make sure nobody vents there, with one final UI. Not much to say about this one, but what's going on with Helpy's eye? His left eye is normal, but his right eye looks completely fucked. So that's all the FNAF Plus news since the last time I covered the subject. We will now get into the discussion section, where I get into my opinion on this stuff and FNAF Plus as a whole. I'm sure more teasers, or at least information on the game, will be released before the game releases, but I might as well take this opportunity to get into my general thoughts. First of all, how do I honestly feel about this development showcase? Well, it's complicated. Do I like everything that was shown? Honestly, yes. I think the office looks fantastic, and so does every single location shown. And seeing the different UI options actually being used is also cool. However, despite how much I liked all of this, I did walk away from it thinking, what was the point of this? Once again, I liked everything I saw because everything looked good, but that's all it did. It looked visually appealing. But the ridiculously high quality of the teasers kind of already told me that. I've known for over a year that FNAF Plus is going to look great. So although I think this showcase looks good, it doesn't feel like it matters much, because it didn't really give me any information that I didn't already know. Yeah, I got to see how the office that the game is going to take place in will be presented, but this showcase didn't really show any gameplay, which is mainly what FNAF Plus needs to show. FNAF Plus looks objectively better than FNAF 1 from 2014. You may have a preference, but FNAF Plus is objectively higher quality. But that's only half of the battle. FNAF Plus needs to prove that it will be able to improve upon the gameplay. But if I'm being honest, I don't want that to be revealed until the game comes out. I want to be surprised by whatever the game has in store. So I'm honestly of the opinion that FNAF Plus doesn't need any more teasers. Fiznum has proven to everyone that he understands FNAF and he understands horror. The video teasers are absolutely brilliant, and honestly probably some of my favorite FNAF media. And now there are plenty of image teasers and also questions answered by him on like a forum that reveal a decent amount about the game. I think FNAF Plus has proven itself to be a quality product, but it still needs to impress us with its gameplay, and I think the best way to do that would be to perfect it and just release the game when it's ready. Fiznum said that no more teasers will be released following Breaking and Entering, but this development showcase obviously shows that Fiznum is still up to show off certain parts of the game. Teasers are exciting, but there's really nothing FNAF Plus needs to release anymore, even if there are people that will continue to demand it. So to sum all that up, the development showcase was good, but that doesn't mean it surprised or impressed me, because I've already been surprised and impressed by FNAF Plus looking good a year ago. But hey, that doesn't mean it's not cool to see. Still looks nice. So, it's fine. Now the last thing I want to talk about in this video is what I want from FNAF Plus. As a day one fan of FNAF, and a fan of Fiznum's work as well, what am I hoping for? Well, if there's anything I know about Fiznum and his opinions on FNAF, it's that he loves camera mechanics. He hates the FNAF games without cameras, and he even hates FNAF 2 because you only really use a single camera. So I'm expecting and hoping that the cameras will be a vital part of the gameplay. The thing is, we can see this is still in FNAF 1's format, that's kind of the point obviously, so I don't really know how you could make the cameras more prominent. The main thing FNAF 1 had going for it in terms of utilizing the cameras was tracking Freddy's movements when he got off the stage. Part of me thinks Fiznum is going to flesh out Freddy's mechanics and make him more threatening. Foxy is also a very significant focus of the FNAF Plus video teasers, so maybe Foxy will have more mechanics than just needing to be checked on. Once again, Foxy was really focused on in these teasers, so maybe Fiznum wants to use Foxy more in this version of FNAF. I can't know for sure, but these are some ideas I thought of knowing some of Fiznum's preferences, and of course knowing all of the prior FNAF Plus teasers. For the record, Fiznum has absolutely made it clear that the mechanics of FNAF Plus will be more complex than the original FNAF. That's why I was saying that the gameplay of FNAF Plus is more significant than the visuals right now, but it's unclear exactly what the game will be like, and I'm hoping for some more use of the cameras. One thing I'm really hoping for is high quality jump scares. Once again, the quality of the models is absolutely spectacular, and the animation of the video teasers is also great. But a jump scare can be surprisingly difficult to get right. FNAF 1 is such an iconic game, and these new models are some of the best interpretations of the original cast, so I'm just really hoping the jump scares will stand out and be truly terrifying. And another thing I'm looking forward to is the custom night. FNAF has said that it's going to be very customizable, which is great for replayability, something FNAF often lacks. One thing I'm a little sad about is that apparently there are going to be so many adjustable settings that there's no way to determine what would be the most difficult challenge, but I'm sure the community will be able to figure out what would technically be the most difficult. Because I'm honestly dying to play another FNAF 20 mode. FNAF 6 didn't have one, Ultimate Custom Night doesn't really count, Help Wanted couldn't have one, and Security Breach couldn't have one. I miss getting addicted to mastering the patterns and techniques of these 20 modes. Something that does worry me a little bit is what the lore of this game will be. FNAF has said that there are no plans for minigames or animated cutscenes. In all honesty, it wouldn't bother me that much if this game didn't have that much lore, if there wasn't already lore established. This is a remake of FNAF 1, the game with the least lore, and it's completely unrelated to the rest of the series, too. But there has already been a lot of lore building in the video teasers, and I know FNAF wants there to be lore, there's no way he doesn't. But what the hell is the lore going to be? Are there going to be more news articles on the walls? I just personally really wish there were minigames and/or cutscenes, but I do have faith that whatever the end result is, it will be satisfying. There are definitely many details we could continue to get into, but I think now is an appropriate time to end this video. Overall, I think FNAF Plus is going to be amazing. It could not be. It's entirely possible that this will be a weak reimagining of the original that simply looks nice. But I'm pretty optimistic and really excited for what FNAF Plus will have to offer. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. That's going to be all for this video. Please hit like and subscribe to show some support. It means a lot. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I'mTheBaddest, or click the links in the description. Thank you so much for watching once again. I'll see you guys next time.